Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Soulcation Podcast. I am super grateful for this interview because I followed Robert J. Watkins for the past, 5 years on YouTube. So I'm super grateful for this opportunity. When I say multi-dimensional, it doesn't even serve it justice. So let me just read you the bio. He's a best-selling author of 5 books. He's a global speaker. He's an Army vet. He's a minister. He's an investor. He's an empire builder who's built 7-figure businesses as a CEO of the consulting firm Conquer Worldwide. He's consulted top generals for the United States Air Force. He's a financial disruptor whose mission is to educate, impact, equip, and people all across the globe to build empires that transfer wealth through generations. He's even been recognized by the former president, Barack Obama, with the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. What? That's absolutely amazing. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yes, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So I guess let's start at the beginning. You were adopted.
Yes.
Is that correct? So how did that transfer into the man that you are today?
Well, I was adopted by 2 wonderful parents. I mean, you think about the 1960s and 70s, how many Black parents, Black people were adopting little Black baby boys? Not many, especially in inner city Detroit. So I consider myself blessed because I didn't grow up with a lot of insecurities. And a lot of those kids didn't make it out of that orphanage in downtown Detroit. A lot of them today who did survive are in jail or in prison or on drugs or have some deadly disease or homeless because of that being turned over as an orphanage. As a man, that just does something to you. And men, we don't get a lot of mental health support. And we're not the first one to go to the doctor and say, man, I need help. So we just kind of live with these issues. But I was fortunate enough to be taken home by 2 wonderful, Mary and Bobby Watkins, and my dad, adopted father, gave me his name and adopted me into that family. And then when I gave my life to the Lord, I realized I was adopted into the family of God. And so now I have this responsibility, and I believe because I talk a lot about business and finance, I was able to identify on a deeper level with a guy named Moses, who also was adopted. And he was a deliverer of God's people. And God told me some years ago, he said, just as I called Moses to be a deliverer of those in bondage, I've called you to deliver people out of financial bondage. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've been on this mission too. So I've been able to turn this, what could have been a disaster in my life, into a positive. So I am so grateful.
So how have you been able to help people come out of their financial struggles, as far as, is it men or just women, or have you worked with both?
Well, I work with both. Absolutely. Well, everything I do is with that mission in mind. So all my books, Never Chase a Paycheck Again, was on Amazon, is doing extremely well. I wrote that book 5 years ago. We can't keep it in stock. And, How to Hear from God is another great book. Chosen is a book on my personal life, but also do large events, and I do live events. I speak in about 50 churches a year and about 30 conferences every year, empowerment conferences on this topic. And of course, I have an organization called Kings and Priests. Now, that's just for men. It's an empowerment organization because, brothers, we need help, And when your money is funny as a man, and your change is strange, things get insecure all around you. And so, money is tied a lot to a man's self-worth, positively or negatively, especially if you've got a woman in your life. You better have the ability to be able to provide something, yes, or there's going to be some issues in that house. So, but recognizing that money it can't be the end goal, but it's important. It's important to women too. But I do have an organization called Women Unleashed. And once a year, I meet with about 600 professional women in Atlanta. And it's really good.
I hope you all are writing that down, because I just did. So can you tell us what it means to never chase a paycheck again?
Well, I believe the paradigm shift that we all need to operate in. Anything you do for money will stress you out. The reason why I'm bald headed, don't have any hair today, because I've been chasing money all my life. I'm just, I'm just, it just stresses you out. So life was not meant to chase money. Anybody who's chasing money is frustrated, they're unfulfilled, and when they do get it, it's never satisfying. And so I believe that money and resources are supposed to follow us. And when you are a person of purpose, so what should you be chasing? When people ask me, well, you should be chasing your purpose. You should be chasing your life assignment. You shouldn't be chasing a man or a woman or money or anything material. You should be chasing your vision, the thing that God has placed in front of you. And when you chase that, and then money ultimately will follow you. And I'm telling you, that's a great life. When you understand your purpose, you're fulfilling your purpose, and you got your money. I'm telling you, that's a great life. You'll be fulfilled. You won't be in bondage to anybody. And you'll just have a level of freedom that most people never really obtain.
I agree. So what do you think is the top 3 misconceptions when it comes to money, as far as belief, what we think about it?
Well, I think the major one is that money equals happiness. It doesn't. So I've made millions and I've lost millions. And it seemed as though when I was at my lowest bank account amount, it seemed like I was the happiest. It seemed like I was just like, man, I'm okay. Nobody's calling me. And so money equals happiness. We think that is a major, that's a myth. It's just not. We also think that money is going to make other people around us happy. It's not. We know because we've got a generation, I believe now, of kids who play. We just gave them Xboxes and put them in front of widescreen TVs, and we just gave them gifts, and now there's no connection between the two. So what I discovered, I've got 2 daughters, is that I remember bringing a ball home for my youngest daughter when she was like maybe 2, and she she played with it for a little while, and then she started just on me about me playing with her. And what I discovered it wasn't about the ball, it was about me being in her presence. And then thirdly, the misconception about money is that money equals purpose. It doesn't. And when you have money, it's easy to attract friends. It's easy to attract people. It's easy to attract. You don't know who's real and who's not. I live in Atlanta right now, and I say that Atlanta is one of the fakest, phoniest places on the planet. You don't know who's real and who's not. You don't know, right? And so, but when you have money and you drive up in a new car, and people know the neighborhood you live in, and they know, you have this status, you have money, it just attracts like magnet. And so if you are a person of faith, then your spirit of discernment has to be even sharper.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who's really riding with you. You don't know, if I lost all this money and this status, would Shaquita really still be there with me? I don't know. Right?
Can you please break down discernment for the audience? Because I think we have people twist it and they make it their own instead of what God appointed it to be. So can you break that down for us, what that means?
Well, I think discernment is one of the most needed gifts and the most anointed gifts that we can get from God, and especially women, because men can be very crafty. Am I touching on something here?
You are.
Okay, I'm flowing with you. Okay. Yeah. So the spirit of discernment is the ability to see what your natural eyes can't see, and to see motives, to see intent, to see spirits. Today I posted on Instagram about the spirit of entitlement. And the spirit of entitlement will kill everything that's good in your life. And so if you have a man or a boyfriend or somebody who's trying to get with you and they have a spirit of entitlement, well, they think they have an entitlement to have sex with you, or they're entitled to come in your life and do whatever. It's a spirit of entitlement, but a discerning spirit will see it at the door. It'll see it when he opens his mouth. It'll see it, you'll see it coming. and you can prepare your heart and your mind to shield against it. But if you don't have a spirit of discernment, all you see is big muscles and his car and his money and his job and his smooth words and his cologne, and you'll be mesmerized by that. And just like a woman prepares to go out, and adorn herself, men do the same thing. Men prepare themselves to deceive women a lot of times. I'm talking about worldly type of things, but a spirit of discernment, you'll be able to see beyond the muscles and the money and the cars and the flattering words. But if you don't have that, you'll be swept away, and then 2 or 3 years later, you'll look up and you'll be like, man, what have I done?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, got that t-shirt. So you said something on YouTube that I literally quote all the time. You said, invest in land because God isn't going to make any more of it. Yeah. So and you talked about the Walmart story. So can you explain to the audience why owning land is so important?
Well, anything God makes is important and valuable. Mm-hmm. So, things like land and gold and silver and people, food, oil. The reason why these things are so in demand and so valuable and never depreciate because God made it. Now, land is something that I think we all should own. Land and buildings, because it's not going anywhere, and it's fixed, and it's appreciating, and it's a part of what you can leave to your children and your children's children. Owning land gives you influence. When you start owning land, politicians call you, and pastors call you, and your voice now is heard. When you're a renter, you're renter. You have no voice. You have no say so. And you have no voice. And then, like in Georgia, if you're a renter, you can't vote in local politics for the local school board. You're a renter. So those are types of things that give you influence, but the spiritually speaking, we want to make sure that we have enough net worth to leave to this next generation. Now, here's how I define net worth. It's what you own minus what you owe equals your net worth. Let me say that again. It's what you own minus what you owe is your net worth. Why? Because if you don't own anything, the top line, then you have no net worth. And the average person, the average Black woman under the age of 40 has a net worth of $5. It's a true stat. And it's because she doesn't own anything. So if you're renting an apartment and you have credit cards, and then you have no net worth. Now you may have a lot of shoes, but I don't want to stereotype anyone. But I'm just saying you can't take what the bank says: assets minus liabilities equals your net worth. No, the reason why they use that formula is because they're trying to figure out how much discretionary income can we take from you so you can get this house or get this car, right? So we said, oh, you've got an additional $500 a month that is discretionary. And then you go use that for a car or something of that nature, and that's not real net worth.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You didn't ask me for an economic lesson, but
hey, that was so. I needed to hear that. So you talked about the young generation. You have another organization. It's called the Young CEO Camp.
Yeah, Young CEO. Yeah, and that's for kids 11 to 19, okay. And for me, I was a nerd, right? I tried to be on the basketball team. I was fast, but I couldn't really shoot, right? But I had this gift of something else, business. And there was really no one that was focused on young Black men, boys being in business. Where do you go? If you can't play sports, or if you're not a karate expert, what do you do? Where do you go? You're just a nerd. So what I found out that there are a lot of marketplace and business visions that these young boys and girls have. And so, about 8 years ago, we started Young CEO, and for kids to not just start businesses, but we teach them how to read the Wall Street Journal and how to talk and how to shake hands. And and ladies, the girls, how to dress, and the men how to tie, boys how to tie a tie, and shake hands, look you in the eye, and create their LLC and create. So we've got boys now. They've got business plans to build an amusement park. We've got some kids that have t-shirt businesses, ice cream businesses, and we've got a few kids that make more money than their parents now, believe it or not.
Wow.
And all they needed was a little bit of mentor, because nobody teaches you about business in elementary school.
That's true.
But over in Japan, they do. Over in Japan, they teach kids, when you go into what we call the 4th grade, they're already fluent in 3 languages, and in the business of their parents.
Wow.
We don't get that kind of legacy. So that's why he said, you know what, we have to do something about this. And that's when I started the Young CEO. Yeah, it's great.
I love it. You have so many layers.
People are like, okay, this guy is like confusing. No.
But when do you take a nap? Like, when does that happen?
Yeah, what is that?
So I read that you've invested in over 200 businesses. So what is it that you look for when somebody comes to you and they're pitching their idea, their brand? What is it you're looking for?
Well, number one, if someone gets money, we want to make sure they're going to get out of bed the next day and go to work. So we're looking for somebody who's focused. The second thing, even before we get to money, I want to know, what is your purpose? Are you purpose for this? We started a bed and breakfast with a young lady. Her name is Liberta. And she said, I'm purpose to own a bed and breakfast so that married couples can come and have a place of serenity. And she called her bed and breakfast Serenity Point Bed and Breakfast, and she's in operation today. So I like to look for people who don't have a good idea, but a God idea. We have a client that's in entertainment. She does business funding for entertainment. She says, I want to be the go-to person to help people who have movie ideas so they don't have to go to banks and get in debt and to use her term, turn tricks for money just to get their movie funded. She said, I believe God wants me to do that. That's what we look for. And when I hear that, when I hear purpose, then that does something to me. And that makes me want to get involved. So that's what we look for. And then obviously a business plan, and then when is the business going to turn a profit, and obviously return on investment. But all that's secondary.
Right.
What your life purpose is. And that's why I'm on this broadcast right now, because you said, this is what I'm purposed to do. And I went to your website, and I tell you, you were so focused. I know you worked really, really hard to make all this happen. So that's what I follow more than money.
I love that. So after somebody realizes what their purpose is, how do you suggest that they turn that? Because you talk about the streams of income on your YouTube channel also. How does a person set up 7 different streams for one business idea?
Yeah. Well, it starts with that core. I always tell people is that I could be out selling used cars right now. I could, right? I think I have enough charisma to kind of do that. But that's not my assignment. That's not what's in my heart. So when I say, let's find out the essence of who you are, right? And let's just take me, the essence of who I am. Let's just take you, for example, right? The essence of who you are is to empower women of faith, right? You're probably obsessed with that. You probably look for ways you post about it, you talk about it, you're doing podcasts. Well, if you get 7 streams of income coming out of that passion and purpose, let's examine that. You should write a book, right? That's one stream. You should maybe do some sort of affiliate marketing, right? You have a website and you sell your books and your products, right? So affiliate marketing says, okay, Robert, you have a book called Never Chase a Paycheck Again. If I sell it for $20, can I keep 10 and you keep 10? I'm gonna be like, yeah, sure, why not? That's Amazon's business model, right? It's just a website that sells other people's products. That's really all that it is. You can do the same thing, right? But the point is, it's attached to your core, right? You can start a business. I started a finance company because I got tired of people coming saying I have a business idea and they all needed money. Well, that's attached to who I am, right? So I'm not leaving my true self. So, every blessing, the Bible says that the blessing of the Lord makes you rich and adds no sorrow to it, right? Proverbs 10:22. So that blessing is your core. And he says, it makes you rich. So there are revenue streams attached to the blessing that's in your heart. And so I have a long teaching, and people can go to my website, robertwatkins.com, and click on 7 streams. So it's a whole program. So we take 7 months, and each month we focus on a stream of income. And we put it in writing, and each stream has its own profit and loss statements. We treat it like a business, where there's books, a business, affiliate marketing, there's a hobbyneur, whatever. You know, we've got a lady, she loves playing the piano. One of her streams is piano lessons. She's never thought about that before. Everybody wants to learn how to play the piano, right?
It's true.
It's true, right? And she wrote a book about everybody wants to learn how to play a piano, but they don't have the discipline to do it, right? So, but the point is that regardless of what it is in your heart to do, you may not be able to see how you're going to make money from it. But these 7 streams of income support what's in your heart.
That's so good. There's so many nuggets. I can't handle it. I'm going to
Well,
go back
you're
and
the queen
listen.
of nuggets, right? And they call you that?
You said what?
You're the queen of nuggets. And they used to call you the queen of nuggets or something.
I take that. I received that. Okay, so what should parents, there's a lot of parents that listen to the podcast, what should they be teaching their children about finances, especially those who cannot afford to send their kids to school, but they know they have to take out loans to go to school? What would you say to them?
Well, the first thing you do is give them books. Give them a book. That's why I wrote Never Chase a Paycheck in a 5th grade level, because I'm hoping that it gets beyond the parents to the kids. So during the summer or when they get done with their homework, give them a financial book. Get them into Young CEO. I know there's a lot of single parents that I do get a chance to minister to, and they all say the same thing. That, you know, they're taking their kids to, you know, basketball camp and football camp. You know, find a business camp, right? And if you can't afford a business camp, I tell you what. When I was in St. Louis, I had a single mom come to me, and she said, "Well, I don't know what to do with my son, and I can't afford to take him to these business schools, etc." I said, "Listen, you need to call tomorrow at least 10 companies downtown St. Louis and tell them my son can take out trash, he can make copies. He just needs to be around leadership. He needs to be around someone who thinks business. Even if it's somebody in the sales department, let him shadow them, you know, for a week or 2 or 3. It will make a difference. Him getting up in the morning and putting and just getting dressed into like he's going to work. He's 12 years old. That's the best training that you can do for that young boy and girl."
Yeah.
So, you can call me. I need copies done all the time. I need some papers sorted. I need my messages put in the right place. You can sweep the floors, but the main thing is being around someone like me that you can see how they handle conflict and how they handle problems. And when they get into buying, what do they say? How to close a deal. Just seeing it is impactful for kids. And so between educating them with a book and then giving them some real world experience around a CEO or a director in a company, you'll be surprised how many companies will be like, "Yeah, have little Johnny come on in."
Little Johnny. That is so funny. I hope you all have been taking notes and grabbing nuggets, because I have. Make sure you grab Never Chase a Paycheck Again. Look up Woman Unleashed. That's yearly in Atlanta, right? Yes. Give your kids a book and some hands-on experience. He talked about discernment. Make sure you all replay that part over and over again. Your real net worth is what you own minus what you owe. And you need to ask yourself the question, is it a good idea or is it a God idea? Because if it's a God idea, that's where God rests in your business. So I'm going to do some rapid soul questions. So that's the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Just read it out. Okay. Name one person you think is really funny.
Kevin
Kevin
Hart.
right.
Oh, just one answer, not one word. One answer.
Oh, yeah, yeah, one answer. Yeah. Kevin Hart. Okay. What's the last song you listened to?
Oh God, Get You.
Get You.
Um,
Oh, yeah. Yes. That song is so pretty. So pretty. What dessert can't you live without?
Cheesecake.
Really?
Yeah, God, I eat cheesecake for breakfast, lunch, dinner, midnight snack. Yeah, with everything on it.
Okay. What trait do you like the most about yourself?
I like that I'm bald headed. I do. I think bald heads is because for so long when my hairline was receding, my hairline just said, you know what, I'm just done being hair. I stopped. I'm over it. It's not coming back. And once I got over that, my hairline started receding. I was in college. I was like 21. So by the time I was 35, I contemplated putting on a toupee. Actually, I did buy a toupee and I wore it for a few days. I sure did, because I was in bondage. And it wasn't until I took that thing off my head and shaved it. And then somebody said, hey, Robert, you look pretty good. I was like, I'm sold. So I like that I'm bald headed. Yeah.
Nice. A lot of men should accept that. It's okay.
Let it go, man. Just let it go.
Let it go. What is one product that you must use every single day, no matter what? One product.
I got hooked on Clinique, facial soap. And someone bought that for me one Christmas, and the little scrub brush. I'm not metrocentric, central, and I'm all 100% man. I just like my skin clean.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. If you could go to dinner with anyone, who would it be?
Oh, that's a great question. I'd probably say, I'd probably say, I'd probably say LeBron James.
Okay.
I probably would say LeBron. I mean, he has the heart and the mindset of a champion. It was almost like he was born with it. And it just oozes out of him. So we've never met. Matter of fact, I'll be in Los Angeles in August. It's a possibility I might meet him. But I think I could help him. He could probably help
Hmm. I love it. Good
me.
goal. Come on down to California. Come on down. Well, come on over.
Oh, you're in San Francisco, right?
San Diego.
San
Yep.
Diego, yes. Okay. That's where I'll be.
Okay. A book that you believe everyone should read.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Wow. So I just had A.D. Dolphin. Do you know him, founder of The Herbs?
I don't.
Okay. He just said the same book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
What are you looking to do next, and how can my community support you?
Well, every year we do. Well, first of all, if you have a vision or a dream, I want them to call my company. We have lawyers and consultants and insurance professionals, and we manifest people's dreams. And we do provide some funding. We provide business advisement, coaching, the 7 streams of income program. So we want people out there who are feeling stuck, that there's not a lot of people out there, a lot of companies that will be out there to help. And what we discovered, if you've had any type of financial issue, if you got bad credit or no collateral, or you had a foreclosure or bankruptcy, you become invisible in this economy. Banks don't want to talk to you, and nobody wants to give you a second chance. Well, we are the company of the second chance. And so I would say for them to call us at 888-526-1118, 888-526-1118, and call us and see how we can help you. And we'll send you a proposal and our recommendations, and we'll take you by the hand. And trust me, 9 out of 10 times we can help.
I hope you all wrote that number down. If not, I'm going to put it in the show notes for you all. Make sure you all subscribe to the Soulcation podcast. Share this episode with your best friend. Leave a comment so Robert and I can read it and get your feedback on what it is that you all learned today. Thank you so much, Robert, for coming on the podcast. It was an amazing interview.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. I didn't mean to be so technical, but
no, it was perfect.
Yeah, well, I would love to meet people in your network, and so you can have a testimony as well.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. All right. Have a good one, everyone. We'll catch you on the next episode of the Soulcation Podcast.